mean, the Batiste was so much more effective on Lijiang Tower, right? As soon as they brought in the Batiste, they were able to live, sustain in these fights. The Immortality field's massive. They weren't able to do that with the Moira in play. The Batiste also gives them a little bit of damage to the players up in the sky. So it'll be the Echo plus... no, it's going to be the Pharah. So Pharah plus Ashe here for Shanghai. This is a ton of damage, especially with the Mercy Pocket.
In the same way that Batiste benefits the fuel in longer fights, so does Fletterer on the Pharah for the Dragons. Now it's really about how we can isolate individuals, and look at this already. Ice Block gets forced out, and Fletterer is going to be dangerous in this corner. Someone's going to stop him. And Accretion catches him, but he's already gotten Sparkle, and now he's about to get into the cookie jar big time, Matt. Complete control on the point here.
With how much damage he puts down, you can't rush somebody down. And you see the Shanghai, they back them up into the corner. They don't push in right away. They just let it just keep poking the damage as Sparkle comes back on the Soldier 76.
But again, Hanbin's already been taken down, so that's one shield out of the picture. Void, okay, a little bit too close. Flew too close to the sun, maybe. Fielder looking in a dangerous position right now, but Fletterer definitely gets around the amplification matrix so he can't get taken down by Batiste's damage and gets rid of Fearless. This is an elite performance right now from Fletterer on the Pharah.
You're gonna have to change something for the Dallas Fuel, and maybe it is the Soldier 76. It's not... it's not the hit scan of choice, but if that's what you can play, that's what you can play. Is Fleta now he'll lock in Echo. Not a ringing endorsement for Soldier 76. I know.
Really not.
I mean, just the McCree's a bit better with the flashbang. Just a little bit better. So we'll see now though. Sparkle on the Soldier. At least this is gonna make Fleta worry a bit.
Consistent damage, and there's definitely going to be consistent pressure as a result of Sparkle firing away with the heavy pulse rifle here. But again, that crowd control, the stun potential's not really there, so what does Sparkle do from this position? Not a whole lot. We're looking at him just trying to find some opportunity. Fearless cleans up Fate. He gets frozen, goes a little bit too close to the Mei here. But Lijay gone. What a perfect way. Just hovers below the windowsill, gets the resurrect. Now it's going to be Doha forced into an ice block, comes out, not full health, by the way. Lip deals with Fearless, and here's the Yaki. That's nice. Bionic Grenade catches two, and the Fueler struggling to find out how to deal with the Dragon's very airborne composition.
Yeah, this is not looking good for the Dallas Fuel in the sense that the Shanghai Dragons made this work on the Temple of Anubis, dominated there. So far, they see no answer again for the for what the composition they're running. The Dallas Fuel may try and get a touch here. They have a speed boost. You have a Shatter here for Fearless. But look at that shield, just taking so much damage.
He shattered and he got slapped! He loses his ultimate entirely! Fearless, he doesn't have time to worry about that though. They managed to get rid of Fletterer. He was brought back into the fight, but there's now going to be a sound barrier for the Dallas Fuel. Sparkle is going to return with a tactical visor, but Fearless's shield can only hold out so long. Harbin now has to deploy the defense matrix to give Reinhardt a time to recharge, and they step off the card. A critical error. Dallas Fuel with 6 players, but they give up the checkpoint anyway.
And they're going to use Tac Visor and the self-destruct here just to give them some type of space. And I mean, you use these two ultimates as you see how aggressive they're trying to go for Void. So Izzyaki still alive here as well. So coming back for this next fight, all the Dallas Fuel are going to have is this Amp Matrix. So you can nano Fate here, send him in, you have the Bob. You're still in tremendous position for Shanghai.
Fate rebuffed briefly, but still looking to find his way into the backline. Amp Matrix, he stepped past it, into the backline now. Fletterer goes down to an Amped Fire Strike from Fearless. That is not easy to do as a Reinhardt player. And now with Fate going down, the Fuel should be able to re-assume control. Crucially, there were some ultimates used in that fight as Izzyaki and Fate use their ultimates. And the Dragons get nothing for it, but Matt, please don't tell me. The narrative was all about Dallas Fuel overcoming their lack of hit scan player. Surely the story of them losing a map here, or potentially the series, can't have anything to do with that. Surely it's not they lose because they can't play long-range hit scan.
I mean, considering how many metas and whatnot have been dominated by that long-range hit scan, it's not something out of the question, but that'll be a 5-player EMP for Doha. And this will be a copy, though, from Fleta onto the D.Va, so you're going to have an extra tank out on the field as they take out Fearless. He's just getting blown up, man. When you have the Echo in the mix, in the ashes, this will be a self-destruct into the back. Doesn't connect anything.
No, but there was no Reinhardt in play, Matt, so the Fuel all had to run out of line of sight. They had to give up all this extra space because their Ryan couldn't just stand with his shield up and protect them from the blast. And they gave up strong positions, which means the Drags can continue stuffing them back into the corner here. Again, Fate goes a little too far, but Doha still picked up by Void. Still going to be crucial here as neither DPS player from the Fuel really has ultimates, and here's another bomb. 2 bombs in the space of 30 seconds, neither find kills, but both force Dallas out of ideal positioning. Now they're stuck in the corner. Uncle Dursley's put him in the bloody closet under the stairs, but they've got to fight back. They're going to emancipate themselves here. Let's hear from the Shanghai Dragons and some of their comms in these last moments.
파티 미트 망치는 탱커 있겠다.
망치도 못 차. 얘네 EMP도
채우자. 탱커 EMP 와.
발키리 채우는 게 낫겠다. 좀만 그 뒷라인하고
Dragons pull up a little bit short there. The Fearless now has at least an Earth Shatter coming into the next fight. There will be a Primal on board for the Dragons.
And being able to hold here for the Dallas Fuel would be a huge win in order to really kind of keep this map alive. As the Shanghai were rolling, now that's big. You get a kill on the Fate. You can push up a little bit now. You don't have to use a ton of your ultimates. You get a hack on the Fleta, and now you can start to kind of build some more ultimates of your own. Doha will end up with an EMP here for the next fight. Now Dallas is starting to get rolling a little bit. With the Soldier 76 in the Sombra, not a typical composition, but they're playing around their strengths, right?
I mean, the Dallas Fuel just got through one of the rockiest parts of their ultimate economy. They're in a big trough. They didn't have much to work with. Now, they're actually blessed with many ultimates. We'll see what the Tactical Visor looks like here or how Hanbin can be controlled. Maybe you follow it up with an EMP Tac Visor. Not the most common ability combo, but still effective here.
That was your Primal Rage used there in buff, just to get them space to get back towards the cart. Now you're going to Nano Fate, but that's going to be a big EMP.
EMP Tac Visor, Jagon falls down first. I think Fate tries to hide behind the box stack in the back corner, and sure, they let him go for now because Izayaki and Fleta had already fallen. Matt, that is the second time in this part of the map that Fate has gotten a Primal Rage and not been able to create a big opportunity for the Dragons with that displacement.
No, they used the Bob and then the Primal Rage, and he just kind of went towards the high ground, and they just waited for the Nano. This is interesting. They're going to play very slow. They want to poke at a distance, do damage.
Wow.
You have the Batiste with the Orisa swaps here for Shanghai.
Fate doesn't want to try and dive anymore, but his self-destruct forces him away from the shield. He even fortifies just to maybe make sure he's not booped into the drink by Dexa. But Jagon's gone down. Doha switches over to the Hanzo now, and the Fuel looks like they've found a new level, a new rhythm, man. They bring a Hanzo Soldier 76 composition in, and the Dragons bring Orisa. What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to... Well, they didn't expect the Hanzo switch. When the Hanzo switch comes in, now it's just so much damage with that lower Orisa shield now. And they're not able to do anything. Yeah, the ball switch just to try and get back towards the card. Is Fatal get a touch to force OT? It doesn't look good, though.
No way, he's down, and that's it. The Fuel, they find themselves at the critical moment, Matt. Oh, you saw how close to the end of the map that cart got. So both the main tanks, or sorry, both the tanks of the Dragons just sat there sailing it in, and still the Fuel bounced back. Such an unlikely composition to do it with as well.
The Orisa Batiste makes sense when they have the Sombra 76. It's just pretty low on overall damage, especially when you're running the Echo and the Ash and you have the Mercy damage boost. And then you also throw your own Batiste in the mix. But the Hanzo then, Hanzo with 76, being able to control some of the high ground with Hanzo, pressure the shield out, that's when things really turn for the Dallas Fuel towards the end. And the really smart switch there from Doha. But the Sombra with the 76 comp definitely gave Shanghai some trouble. Did not expect that. As Soldier, we've seen him a bit throughout the May Melee. Always a bit of a meme when you get the Soldier 76, as he's not the first hit scan you go to. Really kind of the last, as we take a replay here from Fearless's POV. Just looking for a shatter on anybody. Gets right past the shield. That's a big one. It's just... weird stuff from the Dallas Fuel. Like, you can't practice. Nobody is going to play those type of compositions, right? Especially like later in the game.
Surely not, Sparkle. Widowmaker here probably just locked for that first little bit of play. In fairness, Sparkle was the one that unexpectedly sort of busts out the Tracer and looks more than serviceable on that hero. So I don't know, like there is definitely room for growth here for the Fuel, and Sparkle has been stepping up to fill some of these emptier roles.
This is what they did on Lijiang Tower, and they get a hack on the Mercy, and they're gonna try and kill Lijiang here. It's so low.
Fleta knows his window to have an impact is very slim, and in that window he finds Fielder. That's pretty darn good. Fate has gone down here, and the Dragons do not have a Lucio to taxi him back into the fight. But still, it's a good way to win the fight, and with a staggered Diva, now there'll be enough time for Fate to be back and ready for the next engagement.
And that's what you want for the Dallas Fuel. They get a hack on Lijiang, they're able to keep him alive, but they end up losing Fate. But the Echo from up in the sky, just able to do tons of damage, burn players down. I mean, Fleta's already got a duplicate coming in the second fight.
Oh my. Fate hacked. He's in trouble. He's down. Sparkle able to find a kill, and Fleta now has to be the Winston that the Dragons need. Fielder is moved by Void. He dives that backline with Jexa going down. It's a great recovery from Shanghai. Fleta builds that Primal Rage and does everything that the Dragons need of him. This Echo play is just unbelievable.
It's the same type of thing, though, that we just talked about as, ooh, they got to go in to try and
Icarus.
keep Fleta alive. It goes a little bit too far. As the Dallas Fuel able to get the first pick again. You get a hack, you're able to target a player, finish them off, but they just res it, and then they have the Echo duplicate. This will be an EMP that's going to connect with 3.
Coalescence is there as well, and yeah, that should be enough to keep the Fuel standing. Sparkle gets plenty of that Coalescence. Bob is used on the point here. The Fuel wanted a quicker fight, but Bob doesn't really want to let that happen. Doha goes down. Jay Gon gets the slappers out. Okay. Fearless is the Primal Rage now, is able to isolate Lee Jae Gon, who gets the Nano Boost! The Dragons care so much about keeping their Mercy alive, and in the fight, that it's Lee Jae Gon that gets the Nano, and they're still fighting! Sound Barrier now comes out from the Dallas Fuel, and Sparkle has a Death Blossom, time to bring it down! And so Lip and Izayaki crumble, and now we've got a Reaper in the backline. Fate has nowhere to go, and Sparkle saves what could have been a rough fight for the Fuel again.
As it was a big Death Blossom from Sparkle on Lijiang Tower that connects with the 4 Mercy. This time it's a 2K with the Death Blossom yet again. The Dallas Fuel will be able to unlock the payload. And what's probably really kind of beneficial here for the Dallas Fuel is this may have been the worst part of the map to play the Reaper on. As you move towards the street space and those fights get obviously a little bit closer, you know, with the chokes narrowing, this is when the Reaper can be a little bit more effective. As Fearless will go over to Rhine. So you get the Reinhardt in the mix. This really, you want to get the Reinhardt and the Reaper in the mix. Run a player down with a hack and take him out.
Doha able to build up towards another EMP already. The duplicate from Fleta, though, will be crucial. He did such a good job earlier on of countering it, and again, Fleta gets a duplicate. This time it's onto a Reaper, but Fate's already gone down. The front line from the Dragons is limping. Void turns tail and tries to get away, and Fleta uses a defensive Death Blossom to try and prevent the Fuel from advancing. It actually works. Fearless and Jexa get split off as they go so aggressive, but in the later stages of the fight, the Fuel come alive here, and it's the Coalescence that comes halfway through, man, that punishes Fleta.
Yeah, they get it. Actually, they connect with the Sleep Dart onto Fearless, and they start to go. They get the Sleep Dart onto Fearless, and then Fleta gets the copy on the Sparkle, and they walk right into Doha's EMP. So that fight, though, Lip able to build up an EMP of his own. So see how it goes when he pops this one coming back in the next fight. Doha almost with another EMP of his own. He's building these up quite quick, too. Self-destruct, buy some space, coming on in.
Yeah, Fate has to use his own bubble though, and that could be nasty now as he tries to advance. Here's the EMP. This time it's from Lip, but Sparkle's Reaper. He can hang around without the use of his abilities for a while, and he has a Death Blossom available. Fate has a Primal Rage. He does well to stay alive, and now he'll use it straight away. He can't take any risks with a Reaper in the mix. He'll be pushing, and he pushes hard. Fielder comes back with a Coalescence zone. Sparkle's protected somewhat by Defense Matrix, but it doesn't last for long enough. Harbin, though, is still able to use that window to get rid of Fleta, but the Dragons have the numbers.
Yes, the Dallas Fuel are going to end up losing this fight. As Hanbin just tossing himself off the side, everybody else trying to back up. As Shanghai knows there's a few players caught out here. As Doha still there too. But when you mentioned a great point, you know, when Lip lands that EMP, Sparkle doesn't really care, right? Reaper's not a DPS who relies on his abilities to, you know, get a ton of work done. Really, Reaper's fine without any of his abilities. Good survivability too. So Jexa with a Sound Barrier here. You could get aggressive with it. Sound Barrier shatter. It looks like the Dallas Fuel want to try and fight for this high ground.
Drop down now. knowing that there'll be fate above them. Another EMP for Lip, by the way. Ridiculous stuff. Doha's going to have one too, but it's going to be a little later. If it goes now, Doha won't have a chance. There it is. EMP comes back the other way. It only affects Fletter and Void though, and Sparkle's gone down. Yatsa, his survivability not limited as much, but he still can't Wraith walk away. Void desuited. Fearless finds Fearless finds Fletter with a charge. He was hacked. He couldn't fly away. Boots on the ground was not the game that he wanted to play. Wrong developer, I guess. Jagon taken down by Jexa, and now the Fuel. They get that second checkpoint, Matt. 2 minutes, 24 on the clock.
Yeah, they're able to get Sparkle, but it's a shatter at the end of that EMP. Like you mentioned, he knocks down Fleta. Really, Fleta with the duplicates has done a ton of work here. But since they've switched over to this composition, the Dallas Fuel, there apparently hasn't been a huge impact. And now Sparkle goes over to Soldier 76 again. So Soldier plus Batiste here to try and close the map out for the Dallas Fuel.
It's bizarre, especially because now Dallas Fuel don't have any DPS that can really make use of the high ground. Hanbin will be alone if he tries to go up and clear. Hack on Fearless. It's got to be a sound barrier now because Fearless was also hit with a biotic grenade and a sleep dart and the kitchen sink. Is that going to be enough to shut him down? Sparkle's in trouble. He can't get away from Fate's Primal Rage, and here he comes jumping into the mix. Fearless is out at sea, and I mean that literally. Surrounded by a roiling mass of Dragons players, he's finally dragged down.
And he had a duplicate there as well. Fleta actually duplicating the Hanbin on the Diva. You have EMP here for both teams. I feel like if you're the Dallas Fuel, you almost, if Lip uses the EMP, you almost just let that fight go. You'll have an Ant Matrix, a Shatter, you'll have Attack Visor to potentially close it out. I wouldn't, if you're the Dallas Fuel, like you kind of want to go quick here and maybe not invest as heavy as, that'll be a Shatter opening things up there from Fearless. It'll be an EMP from both sides.
Yeah, I think Fielder's in danger in the back line. He's actually able to get an Immortality Fielder. Now Sparkle comes in with a Tactical Visor. Can he find Fleta? He can! Fleta can't dump altitude quick enough to get away from the aimbot. League Jagon is stuck in the corner. Sparkle, though, doesn't bite off more than he can shoot. Knows that Fate's a threat from above, so he backs up, and now Fate is punished. This is the Dallas Fuel on the home stretch here, and they are going from strength to strength. There'll be a self-destruct on that right-hand side available to Hanbin, but that's about all right now. The Dragons, conversely, have nothing to work with. They make a bunch of switches, just mobility, but they don't have ult percentage. Void is desuited. Fate has to step up now and make something happen, but it's all blue, all over the kill feed, and Izayaki can't touch. The Dallas Fuel get King's Row. They play the wackiest compositions, but the legs make it happen.
Just lock the legs, right? I mean, who would have thought? As all we talked about really all stage long is that the Dallas Fuel can't play the hit scan. They don't have anybody who can pick it up. That's true for the Widow, the Ashe, and the McCree, but Sparkle comes out on the Soldier 76. It's a huge reason why they were able to hold on defense. And very see how the Dallas Fuel tries to get a win here on Gibraltar. Is they'll have the Ashe, like we were talking about. They'll play Ashe Tracer. You can't really, I mean, the Echo here is so vulnerable, even in non-hit scan. There's just, she's so slow floating from the ground to the ground that it's very easy target here.
Yeah, sometimes you want to drop altitude if you can, and she just can't do that quickly at times. So it makes her so vulnerable to Deadeye, for example. Good chase there on Fearless. You saw the pressure from Fleta really starting to mount already. Car will be moving. Lip wants to try and punish whoever's hiding around that corner. And he's doing a decent job here. Fjorda's in a bit of danger, but he goes for a sleep dart on a likely connection. There might be follow-up here. There is.
He's going to get out, though. That's where the coach cut. You can get that, to that high ground. I want to say, though, Izayaki could be huge here with the Discords. The Discord plus the Ashe damage. It's going to be very difficult for Fearless and Hanbin to get in position and stay healthy when in position.
Oh, that biotic grenade though, that was so nasty. Fielder, what a huge connection. Fate again getting targeted. 8.8 deaths per 10 minutes in that previous map, Matt. And this one again, it looks like the Fuel are trying to shut things down from the front line first. Izayaki tries for a salvo of orbs there, but can't stay alive with a nano-boosted Winston. Fearless won't overcommit here, but get a bit of extra damage because he wants his primal as soon as possible. There's a hacked mini health pack. He'll be able to get multiple of those, but Void chases him down. He needed time to heal up, and Void didn't want to give it.
And the cart doesn't make a ton of progress because the Bob from Lip just goes on and contests the entire time. So the Dallas Fuel, they make a bit of progress, but you're not going to get very close to completing the map as Sparkle with a pulse bomb, he'll end up falling as and that was a situation he was in there like basically 1-on-5. And now for the Dallas Fuel, you have an EMP coming up, EMP plus Rally. Could be a big combination, but with everybody playing up on the high ground, it's going to be difficult to connect with everybody, and even if you do get the tanks, try and burst them down, it's going to be tough.
Transcendence available for Izayaki here, which likely means he'd have to drop off the high ground in order to provide that. And there's still a risk of getting hit with a biotic grenade for anyone but him. He'll be invulnerable during the channel. Here's the rally. Jexa, and you can see here Hanbin wants to control that high ground, so at all times, if you'll know where the tanks are coming from, Fleta loses a pulse bomb to Hanbin, he eats that one right up, and he's at 700 points of health with that rally armor. Hanbin just ignores the Zenyatta. He knows the Transcendence is coming, so he sits here on the high ground, and Fate did get hit with a biotic grenade, but he isn't punished even though he's inside that Transcendence. Hanbin tries to re-soup it. Izayaki's too sharp.
Well, Fearless ends up using Primal to force out the Transcendence. They're just not able to and keep everybody topped up and healthy to kind of fight this. Is now maybe you can. A nano boost onto Fearless, you have the EMP to take advantage here. With Shanghai used just about everything. So Lee Jae-gon's going to have to hide, make sure he gets his Valkyrie off.
Fearless wants to play aggressive, he wants to make the plays, it's just hard for the Zenyatta. Constantly looking to stick that Discord orb to him. Basically says, kick me if I'm honest. Sparkle trying to work around the periphery, but Hanbin's already gone down here. Looks like Lip was just getting a lot of chunk damage into him. EMP, it's not interrupted, it gets off, and Fate goes down, but Doha gives his life for it to the high ground. Lip's getting pressured out, but has Bob, but it's a big biotic grenade onto 2. Fleta forced to recall into that one, but the backline for the Fuel is gone. And they are making limited progress on this map.
I mentioned Izayaki could be a huge difference maker, but the Mercy play has been huge here for the Shanghai Dragons. Overall in the series, being able to get a res there is massive. The Valkyrie to keep everybody topped up through the EMP. Doha will go over to the Genji to try and make something happen late.
Not normally the Genji player on this team, but something with a bit of mobility is going to be required. Sparkle already on the Tracer. Quite a throwback composition, this one. Fleta wards Sparkle away from the cart. We're now into overtime. To the high ground, that was Fearless on the drive-by, trying to get up there. Fate has a primal rage. He's going to use it inside that small room, but Fleta goes down. Doha finds the kill, and Sparkle has a pulse bomb. He's waiting desperately, licking his lips for Jae-gon to come and touch the ground. That Transcendence is in play, but Pulse is still lethal to targets of 200 or less health. It gets stuck to Fate instead. He does go very low in fairness, trying to escape to the high ground. Doha gets rid of Izayaki in the switch to the Tracer Genji composition for Dallas. It works! It pays off, Matt! Void desuited on the card, and the Fuel get to play the rest of the map.
In the final moments, it's Fleta just dive onto the cart. Everybody now getting the back spawn here for Shanghai, but this is going to allow the Dallas Fuel to get some high ground control. So it was a pick from Doha that opened things up. Fearless with a beautiful primal rage, as usual. Keeps it alive, and now Lip is going to move off of the Ash. Doesn't want to try and deal with all the dive that's going to come through. Going to play his Sombra. Try and catch out the, whether it's a Genji or the Hack or Fearless.
Lee Jae-gon switches to Brigitte.
Nanoblade here.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought we'd actually see that in this tournament? Here it is. Nanoblade goes in for Doha. He gets a lot of air and is able to stop Jae-gon before he can get potentially stunned. No dash available for Doha. Waiting 5 seconds is not an option. He eventually gets brought down by Lip, but still, the kills go in favor of the Dallas Fuel. 4v4 for a moment, but Lip gets taken down. Fleta's trying to get Fearless's attention. Couple slaps to the back of the head, like an Italian father, does the job. Now Fleta's going to return back to the card again. It's just going to be Sparkle here just to harass. And Doha, that's a switch to Echo.
Which is interesting because this is like kind of something that almost Shanghai would want to play, right? With the Tracer and the Echo was The Dallas Fuel end up pulling it out here as Doha can control the high ground. Izayaki with a nano boost could use it on the Fate here. Is doing a great job controlling the payload.
Dragon uses his bash to try and punish Sparkle, but he blinks in a direction that Lee Dragon does not expect. From behind, Sparkle has to recall. It was Fletter the whole time, harassing him. He's actually able to avoid the EMP because he recalled at that exact moment, but Fearless has already gone down. The self-destruct buys enough space for Lee Dragon and Void to get the resuit, but Doha still causing so many problems from above. He gets rid of Izayaki, that's huge! Focusing beam, Lee Dragon's forced away, and Harbin's trying to chase him down. There could be the kill finish there. Doha is such a menace, and Lee Dragon eventually goes down. Yes, Harbin gets desuited, but it's really just Void on the cart right now. The focusing beam takes a big chunk out of him. As soon as Fate returns to the fight, he's down to 10% of his health, but he's so annoying to deal with that bubble. Doha's trying to get through, but he gets hit with a biotic grenade from Izayaki.
Yeah, but you're going to have Fearless use a Primal Rage up at the high ground as he gets back into the fight. They're going to deal with Void. So you just have a Fate here who's going to fall low as you have a duplicate if you wanted to finish it off, but the switches from the Dallas you'll look to have paid off. They're going to take this second checkpoint. Not a ton of time to complete the map. You players still get this front spawn though. Yeah, as now Shanghai are going to have to play around this EMP. It was after they lost the one player, they end up losing its fielder to Fate with a nano boost. It was Jexay with a rally to keep himself alive and then work his way back to the car. Because everybody else for the Dallas Fuel was pushing on through. They were getting kills, they were doing enough damage. You just had a scenario where you almost lost both supports. This should be a big EMP from Lip.
Duplicate on the Doha. He actually got hacked instantly. Can he survive it? Lip also going very low, and somehow the Fuel keep Doha alive. He has plenty of time to build a Primal, and he has it. But Harbin's already gone down. You can see the Fate's in the backline with a Primal Rage of his own. And Izayaki just retreats back into the spawn. Doha realizes he has to get away, but he gets blocked by some of the piping, almost caught as a result.
I wonder if you're the Dallas Fuel and you want to commit to this composition. You don't have a ton of time. That'll be a Pulse Bomb connected onto Fearless, but a Nano Boost saves him.
And he has a jump pack available, so he can still actually get value out of this, and Fate might be caught. A very timely Nano Boost there to Fate to keep him in the fight. A big biotic grenade though. Fearless hit with that one, and he's hacked. Really nothing he can do to stay alive. Sparkle, dodging, ducking, diving, weaving. Izayaki trying to pressure. One more hit will get the job done, but he cannot catch the elusive Ana. And now Lip returns to defend. Sparkle doesn't get what he came for, but at least Dallas get rid of Fate and a big bio on the Void, who may be desuited if he doesn't run away. What? Oh no! In the spawn! They're gone down! Jacob and Izayaki go missing! I mean, that is insane. Sparkle pushes all the way into the enemy spawn, and now there's an EMP from Lip and catches two, but he goes down instantly. The Dragons don't have the players to make a decent comeback right now, but they don't have the time to assemble their forces. Lee Jae-gon is in rally, but he's being knocked back, knock around, up and down, off the map. You better believe it. Fletter taken down by the self-destruct, and there it is. The Fuel getter done. A lot of rough and tumble there, but the double pulse bomb from Sparkle was instrumental.
Oh, we got to see that again. It didn't look great, right? He was in that 1v1 against Lip. He's got like 50 HP. He's in, he's out. It didn't look like very decisive. Goes right back in, and both supports in the spawn door. The Ana and the Break, those are huge kills, especially because Lee Jae-gon had a rally. A massive play there for Sparkle. The huge to get Dallas Fuel the map completion. They
barely got past point A, Matthew. Really looked like they struggled to deal with the mercy boosted Ashe play from the Dragons. Fate was also being very annoying, and again the Zenyatta for Izayaki made it hard for Fearless to go as far as he normally did, but here's how those last moments went. Look at how this stick works. Void was still in mech as well. There's a real chance that Pulse Bomb gets eaten if Void doesn't run back into the depths of that spawn, man.
He was so low though. I mean, he was so weak. He was biotic grenaded. He had used his Matrix. There's not much else that Void can do. So Dallas Fuel, they'll play the Zarya. We haven't seen this in a bit from the Dallas Fuel, but they play the Winston with the Zarya. This will be very difficult for Void to stay alive. It is also something that we haven't seen the APAC teams do. The APAC teams really like to play the Diva with the Winston.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we haven't seen a ton of this sort of combo. You're right. Sparkle finds Fletter initially. The Fuel definitely want to enable Fearless to go a little further than before. And you can see he's playing on the corner. He'll get pocketed by Fielder, and he'll get every friendly bubble that Zarya can provide. Lijaegon goes down. That's a risky mission from Sparkle, but he's picked out the Brigitte.
And the bubble from the Zarya is also great for Fearless. If, let's say, Shanghai wanted to play Lip on the Sombra, and they wanted to... It was kind of what they've been doing a little bit this series, is trying to get the hacks on a Fearless, finish him off, as they know that Fearless is the key for the Dallas Fuel. Having that bubble is massive. He always seems like he has his jump back available, Fearless. So to be able to have the Zarya bubble, huge, is Yaki already with the nano boost.
Two players not known for their Tracer play, both putting on elite performances here. Sparkle and Lip dueling to the death across the map. Sleep Dart from Izayaki doesn't connect, so Doha can get away. Looks like there was no intention of giving Fate the nano until now. No, it's going to be Fleta this time that actually gets it. Fate, maybe because they know he's being targeted, they don't invest too many resources into him. Fearless, however, gets the nano and is put to sleep after Harmon is taken down. So the Dragons deal very well with Dallas trying to start that fight.
And we'll see if the Dallas Fuel can stay alive long enough. You know, Doha just trying to kite this, touch the point a little bit. They know he has EMP. That's why they're trying to get this kill. He was so low. Do you even have a chance to touch? It'll be Sparkle gets on the point. That'll be a Zarya bubble and a big EMP. He connects with 4.
They Zarya bubble this Sombra just to make sure that there's no chance of interrupting it. Good tech, and that's a lot of respect to someone like Lijaegon or Izayaki who could have interrupted it if they knew it was coming. Fate gets hacked, he's stuck on the ground, that's not good. Hanbin builds a grab off the damage. He just yeets the Graviton at a Diva. This guy's ice cold, and it works. They get rid of Fate, Lijaegon is down. Dallas win a big fight here, and then set themselves up on a trajectory where winning the map here is not out of the question.
It's not. It's going to be very difficult, though. You're going to have a duplicate pulse bomb rally for this next fight. Izayaki, with how fast he's able to build these nano boosts, he'll certainly have one. And all you have is this rally. Your best case scenario for the Dallas Fuel here is to try and get like a hack early on somebody, finish them off, and hope that Shanghai waits.
Fleta is eyeing off the competition. Maybe he's just trying to keep tracks on whoever wants to duplicate. Izayaki doesn't get away! Sparkle says happy birthday to the ground, but Izayaki was definitely the intended recipient. Message received.
It's huge, because you were at a minute 49 when Shanghai got back. That pulse bomb's going to get things underneath the minute. Lip already had used his pulse bomb, so this also allows you to get the nano boost for Fielder and an EMP. You can nano Fearless here if you want, play up in this blue box area, want to control that.
Doha thinking about just going and doing it. Okay, he's going to try and make this happen, but Fleta gets a duplicate on the Winston early. Keep an eye on that. Doha doesn't get away. Fate just pushes straight into him. Fearless knows he's just feeding Primal Rage if he sticks around to fight Fleta, but now it's going to be Fleta with exactly that ability inside the server room, and there's not much that can be done. Matt, it feels like, the Fuel a little bit impatient starting that fight with the EMP.
I feel like, though, it was a good opportunity, if I'm honest. Like, I think when Fearless gets knocked down, they have an EMP, they know everybody from Shanghai is up there, they have the nano boost, he can go up to that high ground with a Zarya bubble, really start to cause chaos. It's when you lose Doha, right? That's kind of when things really go south, is come back here for the Dallas Fuel, 2 minutes and 30 on the clock. You win this first fight, it's really, you completed the map, so you have so much time and space to work with here. As you get one hold, you draw the clock down, and then towards the end of the map, it's really easy to solve things out.
No. Someone who's very good at that, team's the Toronto Defiant. They are very disciplined when it comes to, defending after a good attack. Fearless barely stayed alive, and that's a Primal Rage, that's a Pulse Bomb from Lip, rather, into the back line, it claims too. Sparkle did the same thing, and it ended up in a Dallas Fuel map completion. The Dragons are well and truly on that same trajectory here.
Yes, that is up top in the ship, it looks like, where he's able to connect the two players. As Hanbin will die late. Now that's a tough one. This is Shanghai just rolling through the checkpoint B. That's massive for their chances to finish the map. Now they have a good shot. 3 minutes and 12 seconds. A lot of time here towards the end.
Danger Lip! Oh, he tries to extend and get rid of Sparkle as he was back spawn. Mini health packs with Sparkle in the fight.
Lip's been winning those, so I don't blame him for challenging, right? That was something that I think Danny covered on the pre-show, is that how good Lip was in Tracer in the first series, where he gets Sparkle a little bit low, tries to go in for the kill.
It doesn't cost him much. He spawns fairly close, and the card is still moving through the doors anyway. Nano, Fleta, again, gets it. Okay, so Doha is going to duplicate the Winston. Attempted to sleep there, doesn't work out. So here's a Primal Rage. Fleta does not use his duplicate, crucially, until now. Looking for Jexa, whip shot, he's backed away. Bonk go to jail. Fleta now going to be dueling out with Gillis, who gets him with a bite grenade, and Harbin also low. Great connection from Mizuyaki, but asleep. No Primal Rage now for Fleta. He'll be out of duplication before he can... Oh, no, he builds it, but then he comes out. Harbin has a Graviton Surge here. Void is still looking.
I was going to say, he's had this grab for what feels like an eternity, and he's going to drop it right on top of Fate. Just trying to take him out. The bubble comes through. You have a self-destruct to push players back. You get nothing for that grab.
Now Lazaya bubble given over to Fearless here. Hanbin doesn't get anything out of the grab. Clever stuff there from Fate to stay alive. He just throws the dome over and he gets a bunch of healing. Fighting grenade defensively used to keep him up. And Hanbin's running out of juice. I don't think he has any personal bubbles left. This has to be a big play from Sparkle. Fleta goes down. That's good from Doha. Fate nanoed. No primal though. And the Dragons have to back away after using a heck of a lot.
Yes, the Dallas Fuel, they get aggressive, and that's a sleep dart on the Doha. The big biotic grenade on Elite Gun and Void is going to force these players back for Shanghai. Minute 20 on the clock. You'll end up with a rally here in the next fight for the Shanghai Dragons. Pulse Bomb 2. Doha, though, copying this Winston can just, get a primal fast, buy a ton of time. Maybe you help Hanbin build up towards another grab. The nano here for Fielder could help Fearless build up towards a Primal Rage too. Although in the last fight they ended up using the nano on the Hanbin. Here's going to be the duplicate going on in. A sleep dart immediately, but he gets woken up.
Not ideal. Doha is going to have himself a Primal Rage and he uses it instantly. Fate drops there. Sparkle pretty much had all the damage done already, but a Pulse Bomb will secure that kill. And crucially, Fielder gets to hold on to this nano boost, which definitely goes to Fearless in the next fight. Dallas have a lot of durability, and their ult cycling is working really efficiently right now.
You don't know. You could also, like I mentioned, they gave it to Hanbin in the fight before. If Hanbin ends up getting a decent amount of charge and they start to push through towards the payload, you could give the nano over to Hanbin and keep him alive with that. They do. Yep. They give the nano boost to Hanbin.
I mean, nothing Void can do about Hanbin's damage. He can just cut through that mech with a laser. Fate Primal Rage inside the Graviton Surge, so uses it defensively, but Fielder's already gone down, and Fate's actually starting to get value from that Primal outside of the defensive application. Big Pulse Bomb. Dallas are getting absolutely walloped right now. And with 7 seconds left, the Dragons are close to the end of the map. This one is going to go down to the wire. Here come the reinforcements for the Dallas Fuel. Jexa has to be healed basically inside his own spawn, and here's the Wrecking Ball now from Fearless, or Hanbin rather. Fearless has the Primal Rage, another big Pulse Bomb from Liv. Again and again he provides his key moments now to keep the Dragons ahead in this fight. Hanbin falls to the focusing beam. Fleta really cutting through those bulky tanks, but Doha's going to make another one of himself. Here's the Winston. Primal Rage not out of the question for Doha, and he has it here. Where does he look? Lee J gone. He's going to knock him out of the fight and try and make it harder to use that Inspire healing. Now going to juggle Fate for a time. He's about to come out of Duplicate and needs to be ready to do damage once more as Echo. Good defensive biotic grenade. That keeps Fearless topped up. Doha gets Izayaki as he comes out of Duplicate, but Fleta finds the trade kill and Fearless is down. Now Fleta has a Duplicate of his own on the horizon, but will it even be needed? Hanbin staying alive. Here comes Jexa. Big stick. Sparkle gets rid of Fate, but Jagon bonks him and gets rid of him now. Hanbin put to sleep and Jexa trying to stay alive. Not enough Inspire procs to stay into the fight though. Still a Diva on the point. And here's the Doomfist. Doha getting serious now. Void can't do anything. He got desuited. And the Dallas Fuel, are they going to do this? Nano boost to Doha. All the eggs in this basket right now. And that's the correct choice. The Dallas Fuel come out on top. What a fight to end the map.
And one of the biggest plays during that is, so Fearless comes out of spawn, Primal Rage, breaks on through, able to contest, just to get us into overtime. And then Jexa just plays so perfectly within the spawn door as the Brigitte. He knows exactly where he needs to be to keep in just line of sight to get those arms. Map. taking an approach where they probably drew up some new strategies and came in here today.
They have tape on the fuel on these maps. Instead of having to deal with anything potentially unexpected, they can walk into this maybe knowing what's going to come.
And they know Dallas is really going to change up that many comps because they can't. Right? They play a select few things, although some big switches at certain times. Is Fate now on the Wrecking Ball. Goes in deep. Is this going to be a lot of disruption, right? The Wrecking Ball, the Zenyatta, the Tracer in the mix, just a lot of damage coming from all directions. So this will be Shanghai able to get the point first.
Look how busy Fate keeps everybody, especially Fielder there. Fielder uncharacteristically misses a fairly close-range sleep dart, but while he's trying to deal with the ball, he turns around and all of a sudden, Jexa and Fearless and Harbin are all in critical health, and he can't keep them healed up quickly enough. He can't get them there. And then they lose the fight as a result of that.
And this is probably, if you're the Dallas Fuel, as Izzyaki picks up a kill here, this is probably the worst point you could have drawn off the start, right? At this point, Ruins really fits everything that Shanghai Dragons could play or wanted to play. You could play the Widowmaker here, fantastic sidelines where you know there's going to be no counter to it. And obviously the Echo, Wrecking Ball good on this map where it doesn't excel on some of the other points. So really, really good draw here for the first point on Ilios.
Duplicate on the Winston. That's Fletter there, but he may not be needed, or at least the Primal Rage may not be necessary, because Lip finds 2 and a Pulse Bomb cleans up Jexa. And the Dragons stay well ahead. A very interesting Brigida matchup here between Jagon and Jexa. Jexa, in the main melee, leads in terms of healing and defensive assists. Jagon leads in terms of hero damage done and Inspire uptime, which is a result of how much you're hitting someone. Different style. Jagon very much more aggressive, and Jexa going to switch down to Lucio.
I was going to say, they're going to change things up. A different style of play here from the Dallas Fuel with the Moira and the Lucio close together. Get a hack. This time, though, a big EMP probably, and activate on that. It's going to be the EMP, and Izzyaki gets blown up there.
The Dallas Fuel can't be relying on an EMP for every fight, though. They've already conceded 80% capture progress to the Dragons, and they've lost Jexa in this fight. Fate's going to be annoying. Very hard to get rid of. He's 1 HP. The minefield is out. Sparkle was trying to navigate his way through. Harder than finding El Dorado, I suspect. And Lit knows that he can dance around that minefield and stay relatively safe from close quarters. He's still alive. And it's 94% on the ticker for the Dragons. Fate switching to the Winston.
You can keep fighting this, though, as it's going to be the copy from Fleta getting a Tracer. It'll be a Coalescence that comes out. They need to keep everybody alive.
Pulse. Good patience from Fleta, but he still doesn't connect. He's forced out of the duplication by the Coalescence from Fielder, and that was when Fielder was at his most vulnerable. He cannot fade away during Coalescence, so that Pulse Bomb, if it had stuck, it would have been game over. Hanbin gets away, self-destruct over the top there. Bit of a cheeky fade away, and that Transcendence wouldn't have saved anyone from the self-destruct if it had hit, but it didn't. And Jagon now has a rally to follow this up. The Dragons have a lot of durability here, and they're ready to fight to end the round.
It's difficult for the Dallas Fuel to step back onto the point because they know the rally, the Transcendence comes in, so everybody on the Shanghai Dragons topped up. They can't stand here and fight. With that rally armor, you have the Echo in the sky, the Tracer, you just can't match it if you're the Dallas Fuel.
Fearless is hit with a Discord Orb and a Focusing Beam, so he just evaporates in an instant. The Pulse Bomb, well, easy come, easy go for Lip. He didn't even need to connect that one. Most of the hard work had already been done. The Dragons now are back in control of the point, and it's really just a matter of clearing things out. Sparkle goes down. Here's an EMP coming fairly late. It connects on towards 4 people. There might be a comeback here. Doha gets rid of Lip. Fearless is going to roll onto the point and buy a little bit more time. This is not his normal pick. The Wrecking Ball is reserved for special occasions like Desperation.
So maybe, if Jexa stays alive a second longer, you have a sound barrier, but really strong performance here from the Shanghai Dragons to kick things off on Ilios. But like I mentioned, Ruins, a point where you can play a lot of the Wrecking Ball, a lot of compositions that the Shanghai Dragons want to play. It's not as easy on some of these other points. So Dallas Fuel thus far looks like they're going to be playing probably the Winston base comp with the Tracer and the Echo. As we take a look from Lip's POV, his Tracer's definitely impressed a lot of people.
Credit to Jexa because his Shield Bash prevents Fielder from dying to the Pulse Bomb. Unfortunately, Lip was still there to have his dinner. Anyway, on the Lighthouse now. And again, you mentioned that Ruins was a pretty bad map for the Fuel to draw. Now the Echo for Doha will have a bit more protection as there's some of these protrusive buildings and roofs he can hide behind if he needs to.
I feel like this should play out better for the Dallas Fuel. You can jump up here on the high ground as Yaki gets really low, but the peel back is so good from the rest of the Shanghai Dragons. They keep Izzyaki alive, and just all the damage from Fleta and co. Just destroys Dallas. They jump right into it. Izzyaki lives. Everybody else puts down the damage. The Discord Orb in there pays off big. Just kind of sitting on top of the Zen. The Zen is the dive target, but it's also, you know, with the Brig and then the Echo damage, it's going to be a difficult one to take out.
It's a problem for the Fuel, who play so heavily around Fearless and actually devote so many resources to their main tank. The Discord Orb is his natural enemy, and he's no longer an Apex Predator when that is afoot. Sparkle has to get away from the point there. Just takes a little bit too much damage, goes back to the Mega. Void's attention is now elsewhere, so Sparkle returns to the point. Gonna try and draw some attention, and he has caught Lip. Hook, line, or sinker. Lip takes damage from the middle of the point here, so this gives Dallas a little bit of room, but Fearless going down there. I think the Dragons have stepped it up a notch.
Well, watching from the top mini-map, you know, when Fearless goes up to the high ground to try and go after Izzyaki, you have Liche gone there, you have Void coming back to help in Fleta. Just so much help for Izzyaki, because they know if they keep him alive with the Discord Orb, and it's a pick off on the Jexay, so that's going to make you wait even longer here if you're the Dallas Fuel. They're just trying to make anything happen. It's Fearless actually on the point with a Primal Rage, and they're going to flip the point.
That is, the timing is brilliant there. Fearless gets a swipe of the fists, and there's no rocket boosters available for Void, so it's a gigantic value kill there as he's knocked over the edge.
And Shanghai does not expect that to play out like that. They get that first pick off, you get the Brig, you expect them to kind of go back, reset. Sparkle on the point, and then Fearless comes in with a Primal Rage, and you just keep the fight alive. The nano boost there as well. So now with control of the point, let's see how the Dallas Fuel can make this composition work. They can play a little bit more aggressive, play up on that high ground, and control it right away.
Duplicate. Diva is the target for Doha. Looking to get into the back line here, but Sparkle's already gone down. Discorded, stunned, whip shot, all the works gets leverage.
Point flips.
At the Tracer. And that's bad for the Fuel. That is doubly bad. Losing the point midway through the fight. Can they recover? Hardman gets rid of Lip, but the damage was already done as he claimed Fielder. So only Jex are really here for the heals. Fleta won't get a Primal Rage here. Dallas still need point control. They're committing that. They're going with the rally now. They might be short-handed, but they know they need to take this back post-haste.
Yeah, they're going to have the Primal Rage here from Fearless again, and he's going to go up to the high ground, gets discorded, but it was a minefield that helped Shanghai take the point back as the Fate's still rolling around. He goes right through Jexay. Just look at all of the spots that the damage is coming from here on the Fearless. He has no idea where to target.
But they got Izzyaki. Hanbin now can just run wild on the backline. No healers are available here for the Dragons. And remember, when Izzyaaki's off the map, they really don't have enough healing to work with, especially with Jagon being knocked out of Inspire proc range. 98% place 42. Dallas have been behind the whole time here on Ilios. They have a chance to get back in the lead, but they're really going to have to hold out for quite a while.
It's possible, though. You know, above 50%, no ultimates here available for the Shanghai Dragons. You win this fight rather quickly. You kind of get it up to 70-80. You're in a spot to win.
Why not? Why a quick fight? A long fight was also probably fine here for the Fuel. They're in control. Sparkle knows he can't go too far. He's been kept in place by Lip right now because they can't risk losing the point prematurely again. Void wasn't desuited. Harbin almost gets desuited himself, pushing quite far. Fearless has got to commit. Yeah, Primal Rage straight over the top. That's brilliant. Izzyaki gets that one dropped on him. They say it's good luck when a bird poops on your head. I don't think Izzyaki feels like that about what Harbin just did to him.
Yeah, it's a nano boost from Fielder onto Fearless right away, and they kick the fight off with Fearless, Hanbin, and Doha just putting damage down on the supports and some of the other players for the Shanghai Dragons. And it's really Sparkle and Jexay who are able to keep the point in the Dallas Fuel's favor. And like I mentioned, you get it above like 80%, you're in a one-fight territory now.
Fake takes a bunch of damage. All the Fuel make a beeline for him and they get rid of him. The target focus is brilliant. Fate still able to claim Sparkle with a minefield, but Doha gets the duplicate on the Diva. Here's trouble for the Dragons now. Doha's looking for the backline. He finds Izzyaki, and look at the matchup. Combining nicely with Fearless, it's going to force out the Transcendence. Yeah, the Fuel have to get back to the point now. They need to win the fight. They aren't touching right now. And there we go. It's going to be Humber that keeps it going. Fearless going to buy the grenade. Nano boost as well. Jex is in trouble, though. He's going to get absolutely crowded on. There's no healers on the point for the fuel. All their supports are being isolated, but Fate doesn't have the backup to get rid of them. They can return, but will it be quick enough? Fearless is doing a good job staying alive for now, but Jackson comes in. It's too late, though. Fearless already gets hit with a biotic grenade. He can't be healed, even though the cavalry's arrived. There's nothing they can do. Dead to rights he was, but Doha finds a quick double. Void goes for the self-destruct here. Crucial timing, and he's going to get two. That's what the Dragons needed. That's what's going to keep them in the series.
Oh, and it was the wrecking ball play there at the end from Fate, just occupying both supports for so long, like you mentioned. The Dallas Fuel try and juggle it on the point. They went in deep, trying to get the Transcendence out of Izzyaki, and they gave up the point for it. And then they try and work their way back, but just Fate just locking these supports so... I wonder if they see this, if they make some type of adjustment, if they want to continue to play the ball into it.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
It'll be the Dragons to start on the attacking side, and Doha greets them as they come out of spawn.
They're going to see 76 and be like, what?
Ooh, okay. Whatever it is, it's prompted Fate to... Maybe the Winston?
Everybody back. Yep, we're seeing a change. Everybody back.
Right, okay. So the Dragon's going to play more traditional rush here. Here they go.
This is going to be so much of what this map is like, potentially, if these teams just want to kind of play this game where they try and counter-comp each other constantly. Like, Dallas could come out and play the Symmetra next, right? But then we see the Echo switch and whatnot come in for Shanghai, as Shanghai trying to get a player walled off.
Yeah, they got Fearless, but Fearless in a position to pretty easily deploy the Immortality Field if needed. Oh, it comes too late. Somehow, it looks like they thought Fearless would be okay, but he got burst down in a pinch. And the Dragons just saunter up to the point nonchalantly.
So let's see now if the Dallas Fuel decide to make some changes. You still have Jexa and Fielder here. Jexa will try and run away.
Okay.
Looks like no changes thus far. No, okay, so Sparkle over to the May. Do you see the... So you're not going to see the Sip, because Sparkle is usually the one who plays the Symmetra. So they'll have the May with the Sombra here. You possibly stay on the Sombra because you don't want to give up the ult charge. You want to get an EMP, so fight winning, that you don't want to give up. You know, basically a free EMP here.
So your main damage is Fearless and Fielder, I guess, with this setup. And Matrix Wall preventing escape for some. Still, the Dragons are unperturbed by that. They step to the left. And they'll shuffle over to the right in just a moment here after they are sure that that has expired. Shanghai look much better here so far. Let's see what this Sparkle Doha duo can concoct. EMP, Doha maybe thought about it, but knows he might have been blown up there. Immortality Field deployed to the right-hand side, if I'm not mistaken. Harmony got pressured. Lip goes down here, so the Fuel respond by grouping up. Doha's trying to help over the top, dealing with Void, I think. Manual hack on Fletter.
Yeah, so they're trying to chase Fletter down as they'll finally get him. That'll be a shatter from Fearless. Doesn't get anybody. Shanghai wants to regroup. They're going to have a ton of ults coming into this next fight.
Fate, he's in trouble, Matt. Immortality Field down. He's frozen stiff. Harbin wants more. He's hungry.
What an interesting composition here for the Dallas Fuel yet again. In the previous fight to kick things off, you know, when they get Lip at the start, he actually comes through the side room by the Mega Health Pack. He lands a flashbang that connects onto 3 players. Wasn't able to finish any of them. They all turned and dealt with him rather quickly. So Li Jingon can't use his sound barrier until they know the Doha EMP is out. And look at this, the position that Dallas Fuel taking up on the high ground. Void sees where Doha was. Doha gonna drop down. He's still trying to set up an EMP.
Oh, they got Fate. He's in trouble. That shield gets busted, frozen. As the EMP, 6 players hit with that one, and it's got to be a Fuel win. You're thinking you're crazy if you can't win the fight here. Jagon knew he had to wait a little bit for the sound barrier, and he gets it off, but without Lip and Fate around to benefit from it, was that the correct call?
Oh, I mean, that's they thought maybe they could kind of extend it a little bit and, you know, get some of these kills onto Dallas towards the end because you have the respawn advantage. They don't get anything. You do have a Blizzard here, though, but Jexay can just kind of sit on the high ground. Jexay actually above where Fearless is currently, just wall riding. He's going to be able to just drop down in sound barrier if need.
This could be dangerous. Doha is halfway to another EMP, and Harbin has Gravitic Flux. You saw him barking orders there on the player cam. Probably trying to get everyone in position for that. Jexter goes down, though. Lip's caught in the Flux. Blizzard there to meet them. Void desuited, and Flatter might not be able to get away. He's frozen on the high ground. Looking more like a sculpture right now, but no one's there to follow up. He managed to get to safety, and he was healed constantly by his backline, but Fearless has another Earth Shatter. He's trying to tempt fate. Literally. Will he drop his shield for me? Not quite. Faith been pretty. Can he? But you can't stop Fearless. He won't be denied. Shatter for 2. Izzyaki down after the amplification matrix got deployed. That Batista goes to waste, and Izzyaki gets dump trucked.
And you can keep cycling these ultimates if you're the Dallas Fuel, as Fearless will get taken out here towards the end. They do have an EMP for this next fight coming up. They buy themselves a ton of time there. So EMP for Doha, and you're going to have Legion on with the sound barrier yet again. So we'll see how he plays around this. Can't get hit with that EMP. Also can't pop the sound barrier before the EMP comes out, as Shanghai wisely takes the high ground.
A frustrating conundrum for Lee Jae-gon to be in. He wants to be aggressive.
He's playing so
no matter what
far
hero
away.
he's on.
He's playing so far away.
He wants to be in the
from
fight,
team,
though,
yeah.
Matt. This has got to be causing him such anguish. Look at him. He's not on his front line at all. He can't be. And as a result, look at Void. He gets desuited. Incredible pressure to the backline, and the Dragons lose. What are their key pieces?
I mean, this is kind of the game with Sombra really from the start, right? It's a dance where, you know, Lee Jae-gon has to either play from a distance where, like you mentioned, so aggressive doesn't want to play from that distance, or play within, you know, the range of the EMP and risk having your shield taken away from the sound barrier. So it'll be Lip here with a Deadeye.
Oh no!
That'll be the EMP. This is going to be the sound barrier, though. It's good.
Nicely done, and that's the Dragons weathering the storm. Doha gets away with the translocator. Void gets desuited here. He had self-destruct, but he was manually hacked.
It was a Blizzard from Sparkle on the high ground. So they end up using the Blizzard as soon as they go in. It'll be Izzyaki getting a kill on a Doha as an exit. But how do you go about trying to get the high ground here? You're going to have a Gravitic Flux and a Shatter available here for the Dallas Fuel.
10 seconds left. The Dragons' main melee hopes ride on this next fight. And Matrix to start, but it's going to be a May wall immediately. The Gravitic Flux, it's huge! Immortality Field has to be used so early in the fight. The Dragons have to recover. Void goes to the card here. Big Shatter. Fate comes alive on this. Reinhardt and Jex is a little bit too late on the sound barrier. Harbin falls, but Izzyarki's down. Where's the healing gonna be now? Shatter is gigantic! Fearless takes fate to his own hands. He eventually falls to the self-destruct, but the damage is done. The Dragons are limping forward. Fate is so low, his shield's about to crack, and so is the resolve of Shanghai. They are kicked off the cart, and that's a win condition set up now for the Fuel.
Oh, Fearless with the Shatter from the top ropes. Oh, what
It turns out, Matt, this is actually Sparta. This is Sparta.
What creativity, though, from the Dallas Fuel. May Sombra with the Ryan and the Sigma. We have not seen that from them. Really, we haven't seen that from anybody at all. As after they try the Soldier 76 at the start, it doesn't work out. They go over to that composition. They're able to really be strong on defense, deny Shanghai a lot of the high ground. They played really brawly up near the choke, and the EMP is just such a devastating ultimate that they're able to take advantage of it. It'll be offense for the Dallas Fuel. They know where the golden box of victory is to win the melee.
Here's how
What do they decide to play? Yeah, let's see this. He has the sound barrier he gets from Jexay coming up, and
Godly!
so good.
And that's it. And that is that is making a play to secure the round for your team. Save that kind of magic for moments like that. and you guarantee yourself a legacy.
So ball composition here for the Shanghai Dragons. This is not surprising. When the Dallas Fuel pick this map, they know Shanghai is pretty much going to play this on defense. So you think whatever Dallas has cooked up is for this composition. As okay, for a second there I thought it was the Bastion, but nope, we're going to see the Soldier 76 again.
Not out of the woods yet are the Dallas Fuel. Discord Orb will be a factor, so Fearless will need to keep his wits about him. And look at this. The Fuel scurry up to the high ground now. Fearless has to charge. Okay, Floody gets tickled by Sparkle. And now he knows that, yes, the legs have been locked. Soldier 76 to win the main melee. That's astounding.
They're trying to figure out how to kind of play this. They rotate
Shanghai did
around
this as
towards
well.
the backside. Yeah, they're trying to just find somebody.
Face hack.
To get a hack on a Fate, yeah.
He's trying to walk away, trundling off the point. The Fuel, discipline. They don't chase, they don't overcommit to try and getting rid of him. But Sparkle's taking fire from multiple angles. Throws himself into the makeshift bunker here. Fletter is struggling. Very low, will need to break line of sight for the time being. Good immortality field from Fielder. What a lifesaver this man is. That's eventually gone down, but it buys him enough time to keep Fearless alive. Fate could be in trouble, but this could be falling apart, and it is. Izayaki's down, and the Dallas Fuel surge forward. They see the glimmer of light. They see the box of victory ain't far away, and they'll have themselves point A and the payload to boot.
And they should be able to keep the payload moving. Like where the Shanghai Dragons got caught here, there's no like Mei on the other side. They're still playing these Wrecking Ball compositions. You're going to have an EMP tac visor here for this next fight. So you should be able to keep the cart moving here if you're the Dallas Fuel. And if you can get this Soldier 76 up on the high ground, it's going to be devastating for Shanghai coming out of spawn.
EMP tactical visor. What a way to set yourself towards that box of victory. Oh, Fletter's hacked!
Fleta!
His wings are clipped, he's taken down. Big pick off for the Dallas Fuel. They're using a mortality field to make sure there'll be no retribution as a result of that. And now Void could be in trouble. Used a lot of his defense matrix, and Lift gets caught, gets too close to Sparkle, and the Soldier 76 is getting it done. Sparkle's gonna head to the high ground now. Big EMP late from Doha, and this means it's a staggered, extended fight where the Dragons get very little mat. They're falling apart.
And Fate trying to play off these health packs, but Doha controls them because of the Sombra, so he's not able to get it. You're going to lose Fate late. You look over at Shanghai, and what do they have here? Fleta goes in the sky to try and get a duplicate. They're just going to hack him as Fearless potentially has a shatter here to win the May Melee.
The hero moment is on the cards. Can Fearless do it again to end it all here in the May Melee? Immortality field for Fielder's down. It's a duplicated Diva. That's not an extra shield. Fearless can work with this now. Shatter's easy to hit with no Reinhardt or Sigma in the mix, and he's looking for it. Oh, he's looking. Backs up though. Discipline gives way as soon as his shield. And the rest of the Fuel try and get out here. They're forcing ultimates from Shanghai.
Yeah, there was no chance they were going to win that. When Fearless has the shield up, you have a Diva behind him, players in front of him. No opportunity to win that fight. Wisely holds on to the ultimates. It's an eternity of time here for the Dallas Fuel. You see where the golden box victory is. To get the cart over the line, you have a self-destruct plus a visor here, like kind of an unorthodox combo, but could force players into the line of sight of it. So we'll see how they want to play around this.
Lifted in this fight already. Big stick. Okay, Hanmin the only one to take damage from that. He'll be healed up. That's ult percentage for Fielder, in fact. From the low ground come the Fuel. Sparkle's got to be looking for a flanking position. He'll start tickling the cart. This is going to force Fate to drop down eventually. Or somebody. Surely. And here's the contest. It was Void. The Dragons don't want to give up their perch, but everyone's got to come down from the ivory tower eventually. Self-destruct is there. Fleta trades for Doha, and Sparkle has the tactical visor. There's still Diva at large, but Fate goes down, and the main tank is missing for the Dragons. Here's the Transcendence from Izayaki to keep the Dragons in the fight, but the Fuel won't be denied. Here they come, and Fearless has the Shatter primed. Fleta comes here on the Widowmaker and picks Fielder off. This is looking dangerous. Nothing hit by the Shatter, and now the Dragons have the numbers to push back in. Fleta's being harassed in the backline by Doha, who's built another EMP. Surely he holds this. Surely.
And they looked like they could have pulled it out there. I mean, they get the advantage early. It was the Ant Matrix plus the Tac Visor. You know, like I mentioned, it was 3 minutes on the clock. We're now down to 1:55 as Sparkle on the Tracer. This will probably have Fleta go back to the Echo. There's that switch, and then, oh, you're going to play the Winston here, so they want to go with this Winston Moira rush. So they're going to have the Moira in play with the Lucio. You'll have Sound Barrier plus the EMP. You can force the fight on the cart. That should be enough.
Everything rests on Doha right here. He needs a gigantic EMP. And the Dragons have a composition that splits up so much, but all he needs is some backline action here. Connect maybe with the Zenyatta, get Izayaki out of the picture early. He's got to go sooner. He's waiting. What is he waiting for? Liv goes down. That's a huge pick. No more Tracer, pressure in the backline, and now the fuel go. There's the EMP, Fade is down. Doha really punishes him there. Transcendence comes in for Izayaki, so the Dragons have a window to stay in the fight, but they have to use the rally as well. They've got to use everything left. Self-destruct, buys a bit of space. No kills though. Void still able to get back in the mech and keep fighting. Hardbin though is very, very low. Pulse bomb dropped in the backline and no one connected with. Izayaki sees Doha in the distance but gives him the respect. And the Dallas Fuel, they've lost Fearless Field to Harbin, all falling, and they're running out of time, Matt.
They're not finding the kills after this. It's just tremendous defense here from the Shanghai Dragons. The EMP is good, but Lijiang uses the rally as soon as the EMP comes out. The Transcendence there after from Izayaki. One last attack here for the Dallas Fuel. So close to winning the melee.
It's all on the line here. Keeping Doha healthy is definitely going to be a top priority. He can build another EMP in this fight, and he can shut down the Dragons in doing so, but Flanner is there with a duplicator, and he'd love to do that to Fearless. He's hacked again! Coalescence, pressuring him out. Can he get away? Yes, he's able to duplicate now if he chooses, and he's got to copy the Winston. Here's the EMP though. Flanner can't jump. He's stuck on the card right now. Self-destruct claims fate. That is a big one. 6v5 and another Transcendence had to be used, but it might not be enough here. Lip's going to go down. 6 versus 4. Pulse bomb available for Sparkle now. Is this the moment for him to use it? He gets the stick. Izayaki is down, and the cycle of misery is finally broken. Today, those that burn blue, burn brightest.
The Dallas Fuel get it done. It was down to the wire. Shanghai with a tremendous defense. They were it looked like they were going to pull it out, but Doha gets that EMP at the end. Fearless with the primal rage. You know, at the beginning of the melee, really throughout, we talked about all of the things that the Dallas Fuel can't do with this roster, but really it's a lot of the stuff that they could do at the end that nobody else could replicate that ended up winning the melee for them. The ability to play so many just kind of off compositions that other teams cannot prepare for. Dallas gets it over the line at the end, and you see Shanghai just have to be crushed. Just, you know, Shanghai, they've had so many games go down to the wires, you know, map 6s with draws. This one almost goes 7. They just fall a little bit short.
And everyone had their opinions about what this Fuel roster was going to be capable of, lacking Exi. They tried to put them into a box, and so the Fuel just broke out of that and broke out of those expectations. They played everything. The most bizarre compositions you could imagine. But they're in the right hands with so many of these picks. Even the Soldier 76 for Sparkle at times, he made it look like the only logical answer, even when realistically, it was just a meme pick.
And you know, Coach Rush did an interview before the season even kicked off, and a lot of the discussion was about, you know, how does this team get by without a Tracer player? How do they get by without Exi? And a lot of his answers were like, we feel like we have the players that are good enough to set the meta, to play our own game and take control of the league. And you know, a lot of people, I was, when I heard that, I was like, oh, this looks like it's going to go bad. So that looks like a John Spector there. And it didn't. You know, he picked the players in the offseason, knew exactly what this team was capable of. And when a lot of people wrote them off after, you know, losing Exi and not having no Tracer and a hit scan player, which is so important in the meta, they felt confident that this team was creative enough and so good on these roles that they would be able to win in the end. They 100% proved it today.
It's crazy, just, I mean, how much we as pundits and onlookers had to sort of be educated of that fact. We just thought there was no chance you could really make this happen without the Kree or without the Ashe. You know, these staple picks for so many other teams. the balance of the game right now lends itself to teams being able to play outside of our expectations and to try some of these picks that we never thought would have worked. And by God, Matt,
he was the number 2 picked hero from the DPS role in the melee. And they play, and Dallas Fuel selected him 0% of the time. I mean, that's just unreal. The fact that they end up kind of winning this series by playing Sparkle on the Soldier 76 in huge moments and actually kind of like making it work in when Soldier 76, you know, lock the legs, it's kind of a meme. They make it work. And I think this is scary, though, for other teams in the league, right? Even looking at the future. Because as we go into the June Joust and hero pools come through, you know, a lot of like the main damage picks weren't really played by the Dallas Fuel. You know, some of the stuff that they play, they can continue to play as it was not popular. Which,
I mean, look, if you don't have a hit scan play, just let him use aimbot. You know, let the game aim for him.
And even then, I think they've shown with this roster being able to pick up new things and just adapt on the fly. That is so impressive. And I think just, you know, even outside of this team, just the Dallas Fuel organization, right? It's been a rough 4 years for Stro and Tasmo, and I'm sure, you know, a huge sigh of relief here, you know, getting this win and just finally having the Dallas Fuel where they wanted them to be. You know, this is an organization that always wanted to win. They always wanted to be on top. Tried with multiple rosters, you know, different coaches, were not able to get it done. Complete reset in the offseason. They kind of handed the keys to Rush, and he delivered them a championship